This is a part 2 of a summary DIY on changing a 2015 Porsche Macan. Previous video changed the front brakes, which actually was probably 4 times easier than the rear. It's taken me forever to get to this point, but you got to get this tool, which I believe you can buy at Home Depot. So it's the Torque 30. This is just a one piece that you take off in the back after you take the wheels off, of course. You take that off, but the hardest thing by far is the 19mm socket, which has to get on the back side and on the back side over here. You don't have to take off the automatic parking brake. Anyways, so you got to get a skinny socket and literally just, in a perfect world, a mallet and beat the crap out of it. And what you end up pulling out is just this guy. It's the shorter version. The easier one on the back was back here. It wasn't that tough. But you're gonna need a breaker bar for that leverage to get to the top version, but the breaker bar will not fit down at the bottom. So that's why I had to beat that thing for probably 10 minutes till I got it to break. And then after that, you kind of have to wiggle out this whole piece, which comes out a little bit tough, but it will come out. You have to disconnect the two, obviously the brake sensor connector, and then also the electrical of the automatic parking brake, which are just 2 plastic snappets. That's pretty easy. And what I'm changing out was this old brake, which I ended up just clipping the sensor, and that did get set off. And I'm going with OEM rear brake pads. But I just double checked. This whole project does not cost more than $500. And it's it's probably cost me about $460 or so, all in all. But at the dealership, this is a $1,500, maybe $1,800 brake job. And honestly, it's not hard. It's just physical labor, a little bit of time, and liking to get your hands dirty. But FYI, you have to have a low profile crescent wrench or socket wrench, because this one was too thick to get back here. I couldn't get the leverage. So luckily, I just got this guy not too long ago by coincidence, and that fit. So if you see the difference, not a lot, but it makes a difference because you won't line up flat. So when you're hitting that hammer or mallet, you've got to be flat up against the socket, because if not, you get a little bit of wiggle and then it starts to slide out. So kind of a low profile is where it's at, and this is using the 19mm socket, or a long version as well. But other than that, putting it back together is not gonna be very hard, and putting the brakes in there is not hard. It's just getting to this point took a lot of effort. I mean, I put every strength I had into pulling this thing off, and this is just this last back bolt back here. So good luck. Oh, and by the way, a PVC pipe did not work for adding leverage. I mean, there was just, from here to here, it's barely any leverage. So I mean, you got to just put a lot of effort into it. But the rest should be relatively bumper bowling, meaning you can do it. Just getting the stuff taken apart and separated is the challenging part.